awesome. Hello and welcome to everyone to the Good Vibe Tribe. In this conversation, in this chat, we have myself, Maverick. We have Ntsiki, and then we have Thuli's pillow, and we have Karabo, aka El Chapo. You know, the OG.
Yeah, well, hey guys.
Yes, yes. You already know.
I just want to say my camera's gonna be off. Like my camera quality is really bad. So yeah.
Okay, that's not an issue, bro. I guess we'll have to just make do with what we have, you know. So yes, how's everyone doing? Ntsiki, how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm on a phone.
Sorry?
Me?
Chapo.
Oh.
Yeah, no, sorry. Never mind that. Someone just came to the door. Sorry about that.
Cool. So yeah, you know, welcome. Ntsiki, you saying you're good. Thuli, how are you feeling today?
I feel good. Always good vibes all the time. Good, thank you. Have a lovely day. How's everyone else feeling? It's good to see you guys. The past couple of weeks have been hectic, but it's good. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How about you, Chapo? El Chapo.
Hey, yeah, I've been okay. You know, complaining doesn't help. So yeah, I've been good.
That is dope. That's dope. Good to hear that everyone is good. Everyone is well. Thank you so much for making time to pull through to the meeting. You know what I'm saying? To episode 10, season finale. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's been quite a journey of discovery, a journey of changes, you know. So before we even get into it, I want us to sort of introduce ourselves. We'll start with obviously Thuli over here, and then we'll go to Ntsiki and then Karabo. So Thuli, would you like to quickly just give us a, you know, introduction of who it is that you are? Who are you? You know, talk to us. Who are you?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Thuli, and I am hopefully the one who brought everything together. I think that Your Good Vibes as Thuli was my idea, but I never thought that the team would be so big. So the show is centered around me, my ideas, my journey, and I'm glad that you guys came on board to make my vision come true.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then Ntsiki, how about you? Let the people know who you is.
Ntsiki Sibande here. I'm the content curator for Good Vibes with Thuli. So I essentially help with like making sure videos are up and which video goes up on which day, and just advice like on shooting and stuff. So yeah, it's been a great journey. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how about you, Chapo? El Chapo Karabo. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Karabo Mashiani, aka Chapo, and I'm the video editor. So yeah, I try to create whatever someone has in their mind on digital platforms. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Short and sweet, you know. So yeah, man, this has been quite the interesting journey in terms of where we started and how we came together and how we came about and how we even got to the 10th episode. So this is actually the final episode. It's 10 of 10, and it's been, you know, quite the experience. So before we even, you know, get into the nitty-gritties of our individual experiences, you know, we just want to sort of take a step back and review, you know, and have a look back at how this all came about. So basically, just to give the viewers a little bit of context as to what exactly this is, it is Good Vibes.
Mav, who are you? Did you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm the host for today. I'm the host of the show for today. So I'm Maverick, the marketing Maverick, Eric Mapagela. And basically, I am the strategist behind the Good Vibes of Thuli, the show direction, etc. Obviously, in working with everyone is facilitating the whole project, making sure that deadlines are met, certain things are taken care of, the right resources are allocated, and etc. That is my direct role in Good Vibes with Thuli. So as we proceed, I'll begin to also just disclose how we met. So I met Thuli reached out to me on social media, and initially I'm a WhatsApp for Business specialist. So what happened was Thuli called me and she's like, hey, I need help with WhatsApp for Business because I'm releasing a new show and etc. And I realized because in problem solving, you don't just add yourself and you have to sort of, there needs to be a reason. So after lots of conversation, it was actually established that what she requires is a YouTube channel, you see, and the YouTube channel needs to be facilitated and managed. So what essentially happened was that we began the channel, and I was working with Ntsiki at the time actually, and then I was introduced to Chapo Studios actually at that very same moment, right when we needed him. He came along. So that's basically the whole idea, the whole background of how we met, right? So when we get to the project and how exactly it came about and our experiences throughout it, how would you say, and I'll start with Tudi, how would you say it affected you, positively, negatively, what are your takeouts from the whole experience today?
Yes, thank you, Mav. So for me, the fact that I could actually come up with an idea and have it see it through is amazing. It's amazing how the power of the mind, thoughts, actions, and the right people come together at the right time. I don't think that us being here together at this time was a mistake. I think it was also like meant to be in a funny way. So just like you said, just to echo what you said, how we met. I met you, and then you brought other people on board. So I didn't know that 2 will turn into 3, will turn into 4, and I'm glad it's only 4 and not 5 and not 6. Because as the team gets bigger, I learned that the team dynamics become very tricky. You don't just work with yourself. You need to consider other people, and the decisions you make like impact other people. So I was actually excited to incorporate and to start something new. So I think that Good Vibes truly is another first of its kind. I think we pioneered a lot of things in terms of bringing on podcasts, an extension of myself. For me personally, it was an extension of developing my love for public speaking. It was an extension of creating things that I've never done, so pushing the limits, an extension of the podcasting, and then making connections. So every episode is meeting new people and learning technical skills, setting up. So lots of technical things that go behind the scenes. To get an episode up and running is a lot of work, guys. The transcription, the concept, the inspiration, the time management. Oh my goodness. And I think I was very ambitious to say every week we're going to have an episode. I don't know if I should have said every 2 weeks, but I think we did it. And I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much, Chapo. Thank you so much, Ntsiki. Thank you so much, Mav. I don't think this would have been possible without you guys. Thank you for putting up with me. And thank you for making it a success.
That is awesome. Thank you as well for believing in us as the strangers that came into your life and sort of brought this whole thing together. How about you, Ntsiki? How do you feel in terms of the positives and negatives? What is your outtake overall in the whole experience?
So for me, the experience was actually like very eye-opening, because I realized that with a lot of things in life, you don't really consider things unless they affect you directly. So I think my eyes were open to like minor things that should be major things. Like, for example, the deaf community not being able to have access to all of the YouTube videos out there because people don't consider that deaf people want to be watching. So yeah, that was quite eye-opening, and it was like, okay, maybe in life, consider your struggles, but consider other people's struggles as well. And then personally, being part of Good Vibes with Thuli actually helped grow my confidence in myself and in my work, just because a lot of the time I tend to approach things as, oh no, but everybody knows this. And then you come into a space where your services are needed and you're like, oh, okay, so everyone doesn't know this and I can actually like teach people or help people with it. So I think, just the whole experience helped me grow as a person, and it's been great.
Great. Nah,
Yes.
that's great.
So we
That
do.
is great. And how about you, Chapo? Chapo Studios. What are your positive and negative takeouts from the whole experience?
Sorry. So for my positives, I think with what Ntsiki said as well, a lot of people don't realize, or let me not say that don't realize. So there's a lot of information on podcasts, I guess, I'm guessing all of us here listen to podcasts. And I never really thought that, deaf people are not getting the same kind of information that we're getting, So when I heard that Thuli was doing this, I was like, yo, like, that's really, so I really want to be, wow, I really wanted to be part of the team. And I want to say thank you to you, Mav, as well, for trusting me, even though I know I was slacking at some times. But yeah, you
No,
took my,
all good, Chapo, all
yeah,
good.
yeah. So yeah.
Yes.
Another positive, I think I bettered my skills, knowing how to work with a team because I've been working on my own for some time. So um, that's another skill that I also learned. And if there are any negatives, probably just time management on my side. Yeah, just time management.
Mm, Well, thank you very much, bro. And it goes both ways, Thank you as well for coming to the party, and bringing your work ethic. Your work ethic is insane, above and beyond all the other factors. The work ethic is there, and it's really there's a lot of talent and potential. That's
Yeah,
something that I learned throughout in terms of the whole project. It's that we need to have a balance, and we need to be consistent. These are the things that
yeah,
I feel like, there were times where we didn't have a balance and we were not consistent, and it would show in the episode. Like when you
yeah.
watch the episode, you can tell something wasn't right
This
in
was
the
rushed.
behind the
Yeah,
scenes. So it was a pretty interesting experience, and very, very moving, very humbling. I think we all had like a burnout throughout, the thing. We all had like a moment where it just became like, wow, this is very, very, this is a lot, this is very
yeah.
demanding,
Wait, which episode? Which episode for you? Which episode was it?
For me, it was, I think, episode 6. Around
Yeah.
episode
Yeah,
6, that's where I personally like. I was just because there were a lot of other things happening, and yeah, it just became like a lot and a lot and a lot, and I realized that hey, we need to sort of again the balance and the consistency was the thing that creates the burnout, and like you said as well, time management. So it was also, but what I really, really enjoyed was that we were always on the same page throughout the experience. So whether or not there was something wrong or something missing, we would always know, like, okay, cool, we are aware, that a certain thing will not be possible at this moment in time, or we are aware that this thing is delayed, and we just communicate about it, and that was something that it's very, very heartwarming, to see in terms of the team that we're working with, So throughout the experience, it became more like a family. We started speaking on a daily basis and solving problems and etc. So yeah, that's really one of the things. So the next thing I want to talk about again, since you asked me about which episode was my worst, so mine for me it was episode 6, because of I wasn't really feeling, I was feeling overwhelmed and heavy, but we still managed to pull it off. Like each and every time we managed to come to the party, and that was a thing that really, really it helped me with my self-esteem and moving forward as well. So how about you, Thuli? Which episode was the highlight, and which one was the low light? Let me say.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's a bit different because I'm the presenter, I'm the creator of all of this. So my process starts with inspiration. So I start the ball rolling. So I think when we started this whole concept, I remember we had a meeting, like a strategic meeting of how we're going to do this in terms of the deadlines, because everyone's role is different. So we had like a flow chart. It starts with me, then it goes to Chapo, then it goes to Ntsiki, then it goes to like the whole team, and before we release it. So if I delay, or if I don't have inspiration, or something happens to me, I fall sick, then the whole process gets delayed. So I've been actually fortunate that when I was ambitious, in saying one episode a week. It was quite tight, but I managed to pull it off knowing that I could, start the ball rolling and then push other people. But everyone comes and everyone supports each other. So for me, the highlight was having to talk about, the things that are very close to my heart. So I touched on topics like, leadership and spirituality, my career. I talked about hip hop. I talked about business. So I touched on everything that I really wanted to in the hope of inspiring people. So there isn't one episode that stands out. I feel like every process is different. I could see actually from the beginning, and I don't know if you guys could see the difference where I became more of myself and become more comfortable in terms of my pace, the way that I spoke. I know Ntsiki, for you, you and I had a few topics of, speak slower or be more natural and what must I wear and the lighting, and you give me a lot of tips, which was very, very helpful. It's a skill. It's so difficult. Public speaking is not easy. Public speaking in front of the camera is a bit harder. Having to remember what you want to say, but still being authentic and to let that come out in 10 minutes. That's another thing, because when you love talking about something, you can go on and on and on. So being cognizant of time, being cognizant of the dogs barking next door, the lighting, all of these things, So when the inspiration comes and hits, you really need to trust your guts and then go with it. So every show was a highlight. Low light was, probably little things, So I won't say the content itself was hard, but maybe the aesthetic, the visual aesthetic, maybe the background or the lighting. There was one episode where I was just like, it's very tacky, the background, and just it wasn't good. It has to be tighter. Chapo would also tell me to stand back, come closer to the camera, change your angle, put it straight. The lighting, all of these things that would help with the interpreting circle, would help with the actual, cropping of the size. So lots of technical things that happen on my side. And mind you, that all of the episodes were shot in my house, and I was alone. So setting up, no one would help me. Setting, putting the lights and the clothing, everything was done on my own, which was fantastic. It was amazing. All during COVID, all during lockdown. It's amazing how you choose and you create opportunities when other people see, doom and gloom. You can actually, take that and switch it and make something positive about it, meet new people, and actually have a positive change in society. So it was all good.
That is very informative, very eye-opening. Thank you so much for that response. And how about you, Ntsiki? Oh, so the question was, let me rephrase the question. Was there any sort of episode that stood out for you in terms of the whole experience, the whole journey? Was there one moment that stood out for you, or do you have a certain, let me say, something about the whole experience that stood out to you?
I think for me, it's more about the whole experience and not necessarily like just one episode, if that makes sense. So like Thuli was mentioning that, like there's a lot of preparation that goes into making a video before it's actually shot. And then even after it's shot, it's like all the editing and all of those things. It's like, it's not something I would sit and consider, just because like when I make my videos, I just shoot, edit a bit and I send, and it's like, okay, cool. But then it's like you actually had to be aware of so many things. And, also team dynamics is another thing. So it's like if one person is going through the most, we're all low-key going to go through a lot because of the impact that it will have on all of us. So I guess learning to, like he said, find a balance throughout all of it and just being there for each other. It was nice to be in a space where, in as much as you can make mistakes, you're not crucified for it. So that was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then how about you, Chapo?
To be so no, I'm on focus.
No worries. So we'll just give you a moment, and then we'll just continue, and then you'll let us know when you're ready. So you can, basically the next question after that was there anything negative about the experience? Like, was there anything, or let me say the one lesson, like, how Forrest Gump says, like, life is like a box of chocolates. I almost said flowers. life is like a box of chocolates, you know. Did you have any take out like that, similar to that from the experience? Thuli, we'll start with Thuli.
Yeah, so I think it's the team dynamics. So I'm quite an independent person. So the fact that I didn't know you guys and it took a while to actually get to know you and understand how each person works, but all of this is happening virtually. So Ntsiki, I've never met you in person. Chapo, I've never met in person. Can you believe it? And we've done so much over the internet, digitally uploading, sending, you know, WhatsApp, calling, video, all of these things is possible. Technology brings people together. It's amazing, you know. And then you wonder if distance is such a thing. You wonder if geography, you know, time and place, all of these factors are real or are they really created? So that is one thing. Trusting people with your vision and having to be vulnerable. So every episode is just me coming and pouring my heart out and then allowing other people to see it. So you, Mav, you and Ntsiki, and then Chapo has to edit. Do they get my concept? Do you get the vision? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I have to put this into your hands and trust that you will get the concept and take it and run with it. And I think that you guys did such a superb job where I've never been, you know, complaining or, you know, completely disappointed with the actual final product. It's actually better than what I had in mind. So it just gets better and better every time. I think time as well, you know. So for me personally, because I have a lot of clients, more than one, and it became a bit difficult to manage time. And you could see sometimes with me not keeping my word in terms of saying on a certain day I'm going to deliver, it'll probably be a little bit late, or the quality, or, you know, it's not just genuine. Now we're doing it because we need to push deadlines and it's not really the heart coming out. Yeah, I think that's just it, you know. I think that's just the negative. Other things you just learn. So sometimes if you miss the deadline in terms of the time or the actual day, you just have to take it in, you know, and just go with it. It's a new day, everything's gonna come and everything's gonna work out. So no one dies and everything just comes together in the end. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I just want to check in with Chapo. Chapo, are you still with us? Are you
Yeah,
back?
yeah, I'm good. I'm back.
Awesome. So let's go back. So now we're gonna just quickly go back to the previous question, and then
Yeah.
I'll update you on the next question. So yeah, do you remember the question, or would you like me to repeat it?
Can you please repeat it again?
So basically, what we were asking is what was your sort of highlight or low light throughout the duration? You know, I started by asking about a specific episode, but it seems as if everyone has a holistic view of the thing. So what is your holistic experience throughout from episode 1 to 10?
To start with the low, I'm gonna pick a specific. Let me just say, like my low was, I'm gonna say it again, time management. You know, I tried to put too much on my table, not only with just editing for you guys, but also like balancing school at the same time. So yeah, that was like probably my biggest low. And then my positive was knowing that I can actually work and trust a team, you know, and learning from, you know, working with you guys. I think that was really cool. Yeah, also there was, I think it was episode 2 where Thuli was talking about interpreting and how you start, how one becomes an
How I
interpreter.
started. How I
Yeah,
started.
that was like really, I really liked that episode. You know, there was quite a lot of knowledge. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Brilliant. So yeah, so the next question was it was the low lights,
What
right?
about you? You don't talk about yourself? No? You don't want to add
Yeah,
your
Mav.
2
Yeah,
cents?
no, Mav.
Oh, hey, you also want to know, right? Hey, please. Yes, you're the host, but you're also part of the team. You can't fix this one.
So with regards to the holistic experience, right? So just to put things into perspective, before Good Vibes with Thuli launched, right? Before we actually released the episodes, Thuli and I had been planning it for like about a month before that. And the reason why it took so long was because it actually had a different name, right? Everything had a different name, so we had to change the name. and we had to change a lot of different things before the thing even started, right? And I remember telling Thuli to say, Thuli, don't say that we're going to be releasing an episode once a week because it will be tight. It will be very tight and it will be hard to live up to. And then she said, no, but I think we can do it. And I was like, okay, if you are sure, then you need to make sure that we do it. Do you understand? So in that whole experience, then she said it. So she sends me the first episode's footage. And in the first episode, she says, we'll be putting up one episode every week. And I was like, great, that is amazing, cool. Yeah. Which means every week for the next 10 weeks is just gonna be grind time, you know. So it was like challenge accepted. Let's do this. And that's when we brought on Chapo Studios actually. And the way I met Chapo Studios was through a very, very good friend of mine. And yeah, he told me all about Chapo's skills and he said, yo, Chapo is very driven and, you know, and I took his word for it, spoke to Chapo. The engagement was great. It was amazing. And I was like, okay, cool, let's move. And yeah, basically, that was where we had begun, you know, that was where the whole thing started. Then we got Ntsiki. So Ntsiki and I, we've been working on Mav Inc, you know. She's actually one of the first members of Mav Inc before it was even Mav Inc, because you know, it had a longer name, long story. But throughout the whole experience, right, I really, really learned my capabilities as an individual. And I also had to sort of step up as an individual to say, okay, cool, it's not about you, you know, it's not about you as an individual. There's a team now, there are other people's needs. So as Ntsiki was mentioning, she said, you know, when someone is going through the most, you know that we're all going to go through the most, you see. And that was really something that I experienced, that we all experienced. So what happened then was that, you know, we had moments where each of us were going through something. There was a time where Ntsiki had to leave, you know, and she wasn't around. So we had to sort of hold down the fort. There were times when Chapo had academic responsibilities, so we had to hold down the fort. But each and every week, as a team, we came together and we made it happen. And we never fought, not even once. There was never ever a moment where we were like, you know,
I hate this person.
So, okay, well, I personally, I have not had any like disputes, very, very negative disputes, yes. So yeah, that's my experience with the whole thing. And then the next question was, what was the takeout, the one takeout? So teamwork makes the dream work. That's the main vision for me. You understand? That's what I caught. And everyone has to have a role in order for things to move and in order for things to work. And last but not least, we all need to understand our role and use it as such. But we mustn't limit ourselves to our roles. We must also understand other roles in the system, just in case something goes wrong. And I think we did that very, very well. So yes, that's my one takeout. How about you, Ntsiki?
My one, it's cool. My one takeout was that I need to be okay with not always being in control of things, because there were times when literally none of us had control over what time a video would go up, for example. And it's like, in as much as we can all put in the work and do what we need to do, like there are just some things that you can't control and you need to be okay with it. And I think also just then going from that and learning from it and learning to do better the next time, and you know, coming across issues that you then overcome because you're creating plans to prevent them. That makes sense. So but to reiterate, like it all just comes down to teamwork and learning how to work together and support each other. So yeah.
Awesome. And how about you, Chapo?
I feel like I'm stealing everything into you saying, but one of the things she said that like I really did learn during this whole thing is knowing that you're not always going to be in control. You can't always be in control of situations, and you need to be okay with knowing that you can't be in control. So that's like the biggest thing I think I learned or I can take from this whole thing.
And then Thuli, you wanted to say something. We don't want to go too much over time, so after you speak, then we'll just quickly wrap it up and take it from there. You wanted to say something?
Definitely. So just to echo what everyone is saying, you can't control everything. So you can imagine how you guys feel. I am the face. I'm the one who has the concept of all of this. I also have to bridge communication between the featured guests. So if things don't go right, I have to communicate and say, okay, this is going to happen. I think something that is also quite important and funny enough is that we worked backwards. So the process with each episode is that I come up with a concept and then I choose the podcast without actually speaking to the content creators in the hope that they'll say yes. And we've been very fortunate that each episode, so 8 different podcasts were featured, and all the people were happy enough to say yes to just being featured. So as a result of built relationships, as a result of anticipating season 2, or having more opportunities come through. So I don't think this is the end. It's very, very exciting times ahead.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, guys, this has been a very amazing experience. Thank you very much to the team. You guys really, really worked hard. With Chapo, as much as, you had your challenges and everything, you still came to the table. You made sure that the work is done, the work is complete. With Ntsiki as well, as much as you had your challenges, we still managed to work, communicate, and make sure that everything is, it's the way it needs to be, as well as you, Thuli. Thank you very much again for believing in us. First of all, it's been a great experience, and I feel like we've learned a lot, and we have come out of these 10 episodes as much better people. We've all grown, we've all changed, we've all evolved, and moving forward, I feel like we can also make other things work and really just change the world. And I just wanted to also mention the circle, the interpreter circle. Was an innovation, that we came up with.
Yeah, I peep.
Yes, sir. So it hasn't been done before, according to any of our knowledge. So it was something that we also brought in, as well as interpreting podcasts. It was also an innovation. So the whole project in itself was an innovation because it is the first of its kind. And thank you to everyone who's watching as well. You guys have been amazing, an amazing crowd every week, holding us down, coming to the party, watching, even if it's a little bit late or, something like that, you'd always be there to watch it. And we really appreciate it. And yeah, we love it. Do you have any final words, Thuli?
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the team, first of all. Thank you personally, Ntsiki. Thank you personally, Chapo. Thank you as well, Mav. Thank you for just taking my vision, trusting it, and going with this. Thank you to the audience. Thank you to the content creators and the people who allowed me to feature their content, the podcasters. And this is not the end. I'm anticipating more opportunities. And here's to the 2 of Good Vibes of Thuli. Yeah.
Yeah.